Hey, Kenna! What kind of a response is this to my wedding invitation? Why are you not planning on coming out to my wedding? And just like my response to that invite said, right now I'm pregnant. And it just so happens that the day I'm expecting is also the day of your wedding. My belly will be very large by then, and I just don't think it will be a good time for me. I'd feel bad if I had something happen at the wedding and I needed to go to the hospital, so I'll just stay home that day. You are totally fine, Kenna. And just because your belly will be big and you'll be expecting your baby then, you won't be causing any problems for me. And when it comes to those that are just coming to see the wedding, you all don't need to stand up and can just sit around and watch me have my special day. So there really is no reason for you not to come. But there is a chance I could start feeling terrible out of nowhere. And what if my water broke right then and there and I needed to make a break for it? Well, then just do your best not to let your water break while at the wedding. That's all you have to do, right? Just hold yourself together and everything will be fine. What? By the way, why don't you just move the date in which you're expecting to have that baby? Tell the hospital that you want to push the date back by a month. You should be able to change up your schedule enough to match mine, right? What? There is no way something like that is possible for me. Of course it is. As long as you just put a little effort into things, you can do anything. Also, you just so happen to be a gynecologist, right? That makes you a pro when it comes to having babies, so you should be capable of choosing when to have your baby. Me being a gynecologist or any sort of pro when it comes to women and babies has nothing to do with me giving birth. All of the troubles that come with pregnancy and having the risks as well are the same for everyone. Also, I so happen to be carrying twins, which makes things even more complicated for me. There are even more risks I need to worry about, and the troubles of carrying around 2 babies instead of 1 really wears me down. So, what you're saying is you really don't plan on coming to my wedding? Your sister-in-law is literally going to be getting married here. Are you trying to tell me I'm not worth enough to where you'd be willing to come with that big gut of yours? What? I am finally getting married. This 36-year-old woman who is close to being in her 40s is finally getting married. Yet you're going to act like an old woman like myself isn't worth crap to you and that you don't want to come to my wedding? All right, I get it then. I never said anything like that, Esta. The whole reason I don't want to come is because I don't want to cause you and your guests any problems. I know very well that you've been looking forward to your wedding for a long time now. That's why I don't want to be there while I'm in the state that I'm in. If you don't want to cause me any trouble, then you have to come to my wedding. I will not have even one of my invited guests not showing up on my very special day. If you really don't end up coming, then you'd be embarrassing me very much. What? Have you been having troubles with some of your guests already? As a matter of fact, yes. So far, out of all my friends, not a single one of them is able to come. They've all been married for some time now, and because of that, the timing for my wedding isn't the best. They all seem to be pregnant now and very busy dealing with that. I sent them all invites and everything, but all of them have told me that they can't make it because they need to care for themselves. Others just had their babies and said they'll have to be with their babies and won't be able to make it. It is a very difficult challenge going out after just having a baby or when you're close to having your baby. You'll be going through different stages of feeling nauseous, and the same thing continues even after having the baby. There's also the baby to think about if you've already had them, and they'll need to be watched all day and night. I'm sorry, but that's the way it is for all women who are pregnant or just had their baby. Huh? Well, I'm not going to take all of that as an answer to my wedding. I went out to all of their weddings and watched them have the times of their life. Yet now they're all just ignoring me when it's time for me to have some fun. This is screwed up. They've all told me that they will send me gifts and stuff still, but that's not what I'm worried about. But they have things going on in their lives, and you have things going on in yours. Just because schedules don't match up for everyone doesn't mean you can start lashing out about it. I already have to deal with the sad reality that I don't have many friends, whereas my husband has all kinds of friends from all over. He's going to have at least 4 times the amount of guests at the wedding that I have. Well, now that you mention him, your husband Mark is a very outgoing and bright person, right? The way he's always able to hold a conversation with everyone makes it pretty obvious as to why he has so many friends. Yet I don't have anywhere near the amount of friends he has, and that's going to embarrass me when it comes time for my wedding. And now you're telling me you're not coming? There's no way that's happening, all right? You are coming to my wedding whether you think you can make it or not. This is an order from your sister-in-law.
I heard everything, Kenna. You're pregnant now, and you're carrying twins? Are they both boys? Is one a boy and is one a girl?
One is a boy and one is a girl. And they both came from the same egg, I've been told, so even though they'll be different genders, they'll both share the same looks.
Identical twins, then. Oh, those two are going to be such cute little kids. Sorry if I'm getting so worked up over all of this. I just really love kids is all. And after I was told about you by Esther, I just had to message you all about how excited I am.
You don't have to be sorry for that. Seeing you so happy and excited about my babies makes me feel so loved. But did you just say that you really like kids? I never expected something like that out of you, Mark.
I happen to love working a lot as well, which keeps me away from the house all the time, and I never get any chances to settle down, but I'm getting close to becoming 40 years old. I think pretty soon here we should try for kids as well. I'll need to talk with Esther about that, though, since she's going to be the one carrying them. But I'm so excited about having kids right now that I'd like to get her pregnant in the next year or so.
Is that right?
I was also told about how you're expecting to have those twins on the same day as our wedding. So not only will I be marrying my favorite woman ever, but I'll also become an uncle to a very cute pair of kids. Well, this is like a dream come true for me. I'm going to do everything in my power to be the best uncle to ever walk this earth. So be prepared for me to spoil the heck out of those two.
Please spoil them all you want. And if things aren't too busy for you after your wedding, please come out and see them while I'm recovering from giving birth. I'll make sure to text you some pictures of them as well once things have calmed down a little. Of course.
What? Are you sure that's all right?
Of course I am.
Wow. I can't even hold back all my excitement anymore now. All right. Good luck with your babies, Kenna. I've heard that having to carry and give birth to twins is a very hard task, so I'm praying for both the health of your babies and for the health of you.
And I'll be praying that both you and Esther have an unforgettable wedding with one another. On that day, I have to be focused on my own health and watching for the babies to come, so I won't be able to attend your wedding. I hope you can understand that.
Of course I understand. You don't have to worry about it. Actually, if you forced yourself to come out and see us, I'd probably send you home. Anyway, let your husband know I say hi, and good luck to him as well.
Hey, you! Kenna! Why have you still not arrived at my wedding? I made sure to tell you that I would not let you miss my wedding, right? And I never said that I was coming, correct? Also, as a reminder to you, I made sure to send you a message yesterday letting you know I wouldn't be coming. My water broke a bit sooner than I expected, and so I had to go to the hospital. And not even 3 hours ago, I gave birth to my twins. That is the worst timing for you to let your water break. You are a freaking gynecologist, so you should have been able to do something to keep your water from breaking. Why would you let it break the day before my freaking wedding? I told you it is impossible to control something like that. Giving birth is something that none of us can really control. So stop talking about my pregnancy and the birth of my children as though it's something I could just push back by a couple of days. Oh, shut up. What do you mean giving birth isn't something we can control? You just needed to keep those babies in a little longer. Excuse me? What did you just say to me? You know what I said. Or better yet, you should have just had the doctors cut those babies out weeks ago. Then you could be better by now and coming to my wedding. Well, at least you've had your twins now and can come here without them. What the actual heck are you going on about right now? There was no way for me to have the babies cut out of me early, and I wasn't going to be able to just hold them in. Now stop it with all of that nonsense and just let me be. I just had my babies 3 hours ago and would like to relax and get my strength back. None of this is nonsense. Everything I'm telling you to do is easy. All you had to do was cut that gut of yours open and get those kids out of you. Easy. At least they're out of you now, so you can make your way over here. It's been 3 hours now, which is long enough for you to be feeling better and at my wedding. Now let's go. Huh? I already said this before, but I'm not letting any more of my guests not show up today. I already have less guests invited to my wedding than my husband, and I will not let that number drop anymore. So hurry it up and come to my wedding. You just had those 2 babies, so have the hospital look after them now while you come here, all right? So stop acting like a jerk, take a deep breath, and get out of that hospital bed. Do you have any idea how hard it is on a woman when she has a baby? And for me, you can multiply that pain and intensity by 2. I can't even get out of bed right now because I can't even walk. So there is no way I'm going to be able to come all the way out to your wedding. Huh? I don't give a damn that you're a doctor. Now get your ass to my wedding right now. You're not special for having some babies. Hundreds of thousands of women are having babies all the time. So stop trying to get special treatment for what you've done and suck it up and come to my wedding. This is all getting way too out of hand. You seem to only be worried about yourself right now. Well, of course I am, and that's because today is the day of my wedding. I am leading actress today, and that means all of you should be coming to spoil me. You are a frickin' gynecologist, so you should be more than capable of coming here after having those babies. Bring all the presents you have for me and get to this venue right now. I don't even care if you have to crawl all the way to my wedding. All right, understood. I want you here as fast as you can move. If you are late by even a second, I will not forgive you. You have 27 minutes now, so grow some wings if you have to and move. All right, I'll make sure to do just what you asked and crawl my way to your wedding. I'll do everything I can to make you the center of today. But make sure you don't regret what you've asked from me, not even for a minute. Huh? Now I need to find a way out of this bed and get going. You, Kenna, what the actual frick have you done? Because of you, my whole wedding has been ruined. How the hell are you going to take responsibility for all of this? Why are you blaming me right now? I did what you told me and used all of my energy to get to your wedding today. And then after arriving to the wedding venue in the taxi I called for, I crawled my way up the steps and inside, covered in mud from the sidewalk. That's what you asked me to do, right? I even made sure to tell the venue staff not to bring me a wheelchair since I didn't want to cause any trouble for anyone. I am not playing around right now. I did tell you to crawl your way into here if you had to, but what made you think you should actually do something like that? And you made it here with only seconds to spare before the wedding had to start. But because of you crawling in here like a zombie straight out of a horror film, you scared all of the guests. Some of them even started to scream, and you caused a whole massive commotion. I did hear that one person screaming out that there was a zombie crawling in. Not my fault that just after giving birth, my hair was a mess that I didn't have time or energy to tame. And I didn't have any time to change clothes, so I decided it was best to just come in my hospital robes. Of course, none of this mud on me from crawling inside here helps any, so no wonder everyone thought I was a zombie at first. Well, it's too late now to do anything about everyone being in such a panic over you, but you knew something like that would happen coming in here. And now I'm being asked over and over again by tons of angry people why I'd invite someone to my wedding who'd just given birth. All because of you. Everyone is furious with me. Everyone's pretty upset with me as well, Esta. They're all convinced that I let you convince me into coming out here when I just had twins. Everyone is asking me now to go and lay down until a taxi comes to take me back to the hospital. So right now I'm in one of the changing rooms taking a break and drinking some much-needed water. You might be hearing me in here every so often coughing from this cold I caught, but please don't mind it and have that wedding. Huh? You're telling me to continue having my wedding? You think I can have a wedding now after you came crawling in here? All you have to do is forget that I ever came here and enjoy the plans you made with Mark. So far I haven't heard any music playing or anything, so I'm wondering if everything's all right. Can you please get things going now since I made all that effort in getting here to watch you and my brother have the happiest day of their life? This isn't some kind of frickin' joke, you idiot! There is no wedding anymore because the wedding has been canceled. Because Mark is frickin' pissed off with me now, the wedding can't happen. And right now, a lot of the guests are getting up and heading home. What? I came all the way out here for your wedding to be canceled? This is all your fault! Mark has been tearing into me this whole time now and won't listen to a single word I have to say. He keeps going on about how I forced a weak and tired woman to come all the way to my wedding after she had just given birth. And he wants to know what I think of mothers and their newborn babies. The last thing he's told me is that he can't be married to me anymore and that today is over with. Well, that's so sad to hear. But if the wedding really has been canceled, then I'm going to take a nap in here so that I can get some of my energy back. Someone will let me know when the taxi is here for me, so let me sleep for the time being. Goodbye now. I'll talk to you again in a few days, I'm sure.
Kenna, I'm so sorry about what happened to you yesterday. I never thought that Esta could be so ridiculous like that. Are you feeling any better now? I hope that things haven't gotten worse for you because of yesterday, and that you've been able to get plenty of rest since then.
Mark, you don't have to apologize to me for any of that. I'm partially to blame for listening to Esta. But luckily, my recovery hasn't really been affected by any of that, so don't worry about me. Although my doctor and the nurses here at the hospital are pretty upset with me now.
I'm so sorry for everything. I'll make sure to stop by the hospital later to apologize to all the workers who have been caring for you. This was all Esta's and my fault, so please leave all the apologizing to us.
You don't have to be so worked up over all of this, Mark. Now, I'd like to know how things went down after I left. I was going to come and talk to you before I left, but I was too tired to get up at the time, and before I knew it, it was time for me to go back to the hospital with my husband. So I have no clue what happened after I finished texting with Esta.
Naturally, the wedding had to be canceled after that. I had to explain everything to all my guests and then send them all home. And starting today, I'll be talking with Esther about the divorce I have planned now.
So you're going to get a divorce now?
That's just how badly Esther made herself look to me yesterday. I was really thinking that I wanted to start a family with her and everything, but now I can't trust her with having kids or anything. Also, I was really wanting to become the best uncle ever to your two little twins.
It's really unfortunate that you have to end things with a divorce. But if you have any time here soon, I'd love for you to come out and see your niece and nephew. You were a big supporter to me these past few months and helped me have a very safe and happy childbirth for both of my kids.
What? Are you sure about that? I thought after what all happened, you wouldn't really want me coming out to see you any.
But I would really like to see you, Mark. You don't even have to come just yet, but once you're all settled down and the divorce has been dealt with, I'd like you to come and play with my babies.
Well, then I guess I have no choice but to come out and see you now. I really do love kids, especially babies, so I'll make sure to come out and see you all really soon here. In order to do that, though, I'll have to make sure this divorce takes place in the next couple of days here.
Why is this happening to me? My wedding yesterday really was canceled, and to make matters worse for me, Mark is wanting to get a divorce now. Just a second ago, he talked with me about all of it and made me sign those documents. What? So you both are already filling out the papers and getting that divorce? Oh, not only that, though. My younger brother and both of my parents are both pissed at me, so they're wanting to cut all ties with me. They don't want to be related to a shameful woman like me anymore, is what they said. Really? So you're losing all your family now? Why the hell is all of this happening to me? Not only am I losing my husband and my family, but all my friends are leaving me now too. This is all because of you, and now I'm going to have my life completely ruined. What? Even your friends are leaving you now? Well, I never did anything that should have upset your friends, right? Actually, weren't all of your friends too busy to make it to your wedding? And I was asking all of them to come to my wedding yesterday because I needed them. You hadn't shown up yet, and so I needed someone to come and fill in for you. What? I was trying to contact you earlier in the morning, but you weren't answering any of my calls. I started to freak out then, and that's why I started to call all of my friends. I told them all that you were going to be a no-show most likely, and that they needed to come instead. That's when they all started to call me crazy. They couldn't see themselves being friends with someone as selfish as me, and said they no longer wanted to talk to me. I was just trying to get them to come to my wedding. How dare they leave me like that? They're all jerks. I'm sure that wasn't the only thing that led to them all leaving you, right? I don't think anyone who called themselves your friends would end things just because of one phone call where you were trying to get them to come. Did you say anything else to them before or during that call? Anything that wasn't called for? What do you mean wasn't called for? All I did was call them all. Well, I guess at that time I was really freaking out and might have said a few things I probably shouldn't have. I told them that if they had kids, to just leave them at home for a couple hours to come see me. And I said that they should care more about their friend that they've had for years instead of some brat they only just gave birth to. That's not just some things you shouldn't have been saying. Those are things that you shouldn't even be thinking. No wonder they all left you. What? I guess everyone has come to realize that you're not the person they thought you were. Who would ever tell someone to leave their newborn kids at home for a few hours so that they can come out to a wedding? I wouldn't want to be friends with someone like that, that's for sure. What? Are you saying I deserve everything that's happening to me then? That's the only thing I could be saying about this, Esta. You were going off on me about how I should have the power to decide when my babies were born. And then you started demanding that I come to your wedding even though it was only a couple hours after I gave birth. You also only ever want to think about yourself without ever giving any thought to what others are going through. Everyone leaving you, cutting ties to you, and divorcing you, all have good reasons for it, and you deserve all of it. No way. And the same thing goes for me. Today, I will be taking this time to tell you that I'm cutting ties to you as well. And once we're done here, I'm going to turn my phone off and take all the time I need to rest as a way of making up for yesterday. I also have 2 twins to look after now, so while I'm still in this hospital bed, I want to use every second for myself. Hold on a second, Kenna. Can you talk with my parents about something for me? Talk with them about how I've learned my lesson now and that I don't want them to cut ties to me anymore. I'm going to be losing my house in this divorce and I won't have anywhere to go. I want to go back to my parents' house. I'm sorry, Esta, your house no longer wants anything to do with you anymore, so you should leave it at that. And as for myself, I have plenty of things that I need to be well rested for, so I can't talk with them. No way! I'll be going now. After that, from what I was told, Esta had been told by a lot of her friends that they felt bad for not being able to go to her wedding and send her money as a gift that she could put towards said wedding. Esta went to all of these friends trying to apologize for what she'd said and to thank them for the money, but not a single one of them forgave her. And even though Esta was kicked out of Mark's house in the divorce, nobody was willing to let her stay with them. Right now, she's working her butt off trying to find a new man that will marry her, as she keeps telling herself it'd be impossible for her to remain single for the rest of her life. But, of course, she's not able to find anyone worthwhile with the character she has, and so she returns home to her cheap apartment every night, crying her eyes out. As for what happened with Mark, he came to the hospital to see my babies and I, and even brought us gifts to show how unhappy he was that he'd become an uncle. He also said once more that he was sorry for what had happened to me, and all I could say to him in response was that he made up for it all by leaving a selfish woman like Esta behind. Thank you for watching and listening. We hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe. Also, feel free to leave a comment about what you thought of the story. We look forward to seeing you at the next story.
Thank you for watching all the way until the end. If you felt good after watching this video, please like the video. If not, please leave a comment and give us your feedback. Also, don't forget to subscribe. Your comments and likes help this channel grow. We hope you enjoy our other stories as well.
Lindsay? What was all that about just a second ago at the planning meeting? Out of nowhere, you just took my idea as your own and got credit for it. What could you possibly be talking about? Stop trying to act like you have no idea what I'm talking about right now. That paperwork that you just handed in at the planning meeting we had? That was all the exact same stuff that I had worked on before. I was planning on leaving that idea alone for a bit longer so that I could come up with some better things before next month's meeting. It's messed up of you to steal my idea like that. Can you please not say such rude things to me like that? Do you even have evidence of me stealing your idea? I get that I'm newer to this company than you are, but just because I'm doing better than you are here doesn't mean you can try to sabotage me. Huh? I'm sure you're just jealous that a newbie like me was able to come up with a better idea than you at the meeting, right? I was praised by all the higher-ups, and that's probably what made you so upset. But you should take a page from their books and start praising me as well for my hard work and great thinking. I'm not trying to play any games right now, Lindsay. I know that you came up to my desk and took those papers from me, and I have proof of that. I learned about it from someone that witnessed you doing it while she was here late doing overtime. Well, I just happened to walk by your desk a few times, but I never took anything from you. Walking around like that helps me come up with new ideas is all. And it just so happens that sometimes I come up to your desk while walking around like that. But don't take that as me stealing anything from you, okay? I have a witness saying you stole things from me and you still won't come clean? Well, come on now. You were never going to come up with an idea like mine anyway. You've been here longer than I have, and the manager told me that he's never heard of an idea like mine from any of the other workers. So that must mean that an old fart like you couldn't come up with anything to impress. Huh? What did you say? Well, it doesn't even matter now because the meeting is over with. And as of right now, the department manager is taking my idea into consideration for the next plan. So can you please stop trying to scare me by making such a big deal over it? If you have the time to be sitting at your desk right now talking to me, then you have time to start working on new documents for my plan. What? What do you mean by new documents? Did you not hear a word the manager said to us? He said that starting next month, we will be having a company-wide meeting to discuss this plan and put it into action. And that's why he's asked for us to start making up documents to better lay out said plan. As I recall, you were the one that was asked to work on those new documents, considering you stole the idea from me for said plans. And another thing before I'm done talking to you, next week is going to be that company-wide meeting, and so if you don't get started on those documents soon, you'll never have them ready in time. But I'm really busy right now and don't have time to work on any documents. And this evening, I have some important plans to get to, so I'll be going home soon. Also, that meeting today wore me out, so I'll be taking some PTO out for tomorrow and the day after to recover. So all the work that's supposed to be done by me is going to fall into your hands to be finished in time for that meeting. Huh? Are you kidding me? That's not going to happen, though. I have a lot of work of my own to get back to this week and won't have time to work on your things. And I myself have plans tonight that require me to be home, so I'm not going to be able to stay late. Do you really think it'll be acceptable to slack off like that? You've been in this company longer than me, therefore when a newbie like me is sick and can't get her work done, you have to step in to clean up for me. But if you can't even be relied on to do that here, as well as never give any new ideas at the planning meeting, I think this company will begin to realize you're no use anymore. And by that point, they will think of you as nothing more than an old fart that needs to go. Excuse me? Now I need to be heading home. I look forward to those finished documents on my desk when I'm back in 2 days. I'm sorry, Stanley. I know that you and I are supposed to be having dinner together today, but I have so much work right now and I don't think I'll be able to make it. You can go ahead and start the dinner without me today.
What? Even today you have to stay late for work? I was really looking forward to finally having the whole family together to meet my fiancé for dinner.
I'm really so sorry about this. Unfortunately, I was given some last-minute work today that I can't say no to and that needs to be completed here soon.
Last minute work, huh? Don't tell me that it's because of that newbie that you're working with still who's been forcing you to do all her work?
You really seem to know what's going on here.
Well, you are the kind of woman that likes to get all her work done to the best of her abilities. But the fact that someone new is forcing you to do all their work, you've already told me and Mom and Dad about it a lot, so I knew that once again this time would be the same reason.
Well, you're 100% correct. Not only did she end up stealing my idea and giving it at the meeting today, but she's having me do all the document work for it now.
What? She stole an idea of yours? Don't you feel like something like that is crossing the line big time in terms of work ethic? I can kind of see someone being lazy and never getting their work done, leading to you having to do it for them, but what she's done this time is just wrong.
You are right. This time she's really crossed the line. She's really started to act strange in the office, and it's really getting on my nerves. Which is pretty rare considering that I'm usually pretty patient with new employees.
Maybe this new employee isn't like the rest and is just completely brainless. No matter how you think of it, this time you happen to have a useless coworker on your hands. And what really makes this all worse is that you were supposed to be coming out to see my fiancé today, but that's all been ruined because of that lazy jerk. It's all due to her that even your private life is starting to be affected, and in a very bad way. I think you need to stop trying to bear that coworker's laziness and bring all this stuff up with your boss.
You have a good point. At this point, I'm not going to be able to handle her crap on my own anymore. However, I'm worried that me bringing this up to my boss might result in them thinking her actions are all because I'm not training her well enough.
Katrina, you were always worried too much about things. There's no way they would get upset at you because of her poor work ethic. You just have to tell your boss that you've had enough and can't deal with the new hire anymore. If anything, it'd be better to tell them sooner rather than later, because it will help the company just as much as it'll help you. It's only a matter of time that coworker does something completely out of line and costs not only you your sanity, but the company its image as well.
That's right. Thank you so much for listening to me rant again, Stanley. You've really made me start feeling better about this. I shouldn't have expected any less from a psychiatry major like you.
Well, how about instead of me charging you for my time this time, you treat me to some steak next time we meet? And as for my fiancée, I'm sure I can get her to meet you another time before we get married.
Sure. When things calm down a bit here for me, I'd love to take the both of you out for steak and get to finally meet her. Now I've got to get back to my work before I stay here too long. Make sure to let everyone know today that I've had to stay late at work again, and that's why I won't be making it to dinner tonight. Why are you here, Katrina? Where the hell did you even come from to get into here? I'm actually wondering the exact same thing, actually. I want to know why Lindsay is here right now at this wedding, and why are you wearing a wedding dress right now? I'm the bride, after all, so I have to be here in a wedding dress. In other words, this is my wedding that you're at today. What? You are the bride at this wedding today? Now tell me why you, of all people, are here. I don't ever remember inviting you to be at my wedding. And what makes all this even more surprising is that you seem to be very close to my fiancé. Who the hell do you think you are talking to the groom like that? Who the hell am I? I would have never thought that someone like you would come into someone else's wedding uninvited. And not just that, but be flirting with the groom while his fiancé is watching? I don't want an old fart like you anywhere near him. I am not flirting with him right now. Do you think we can both take a moment to calm down a bit? We have to be a bit more level-headed before we continue this conversation. Well, if you want me to calm down, start by telling me why you're at my wedding today. What made you think it was such a good idea to come to your new coworker's wedding when you never got an invitation? Wait, don't tell me. You came here so that you could try and catch the bouquet in the toss today? What? Now that I think about it, you are still a single and lonely middle-aged woman, right? You've never been able to find a man for yourself to marry, and that's why you came here today searching for luck. They always say that the person that catches the bouquet is likely to be the next one to get married, right? And so you thought it would be the perfect chance to finally end your suffering, and that's why you're here. Nobody with a hint of common sense would come to some stranger's wedding for that reason. And just because I'm single doesn't mean that I'm lonely. No. You are getting way too old now to still be single, and that's why it sucks so much for you. And when it comes to women, no matter how much they love their jobs and work hard, if they're still single in their 40s, they're pretty much done for. And that's why today will be your last chance of ever getting married, as long as you can get the bouquet. I can't believe that you came all the way to your coworker's wedding today uninvited just to try and save yourself from eternal loneliness. You must really be hurting inside. I told you already that that's not the case. Can you take a moment to listen to what I'm saying? Huh? There's no way I'm wrong about what I'm saying. If what I've said isn't the case, then why else would you be here? I mean, why would you be trying to steal my fiancé from me right now? Did you come all the way here with the intention of stealing him from me on our wedding day? Huh? I bet you're jealous seeing your young and cute coworker getting married before you. And that's why you're here, trying to take the groom away before he ties the knot with the bride. You're only here to take him away and nothing else, right? Well, I'm sorry, Katrina. Right now, my fiancé is head over heels in love with me. And he would never take a chance at going out with some old fart like you. That is also not the reason why I'm here. Can you stop it with all these weird and messed up guesses that you're making? Then tell me why you're here already. I never asked for an old fart like you to be here today, so you'd better get to explaining yourself. And I don't mean talking around the bush about it either. I want to know right now, or else I'm sending you out of here. I'm here because I'm your sister-in-law. What? I've had enough of this. I'm going home. Then at least we can both be happy because we won't be around each other anymore. So now go right along and have a wonderful wedding with my little brother, please. Wait a second. What? My sister-in-law? What? You're Stanley's older sister? That's right. I'm the older sister of your groom. But man, did I never expect that my brother's fiancé would turn out to be you. That's such a terrible outcome that I'm even shocked to the core. You're lying about this, right? Wait. From everything I've heard from Stanley, he tells me that his sister is a really well-off woman with a great career. Don't tell me that he was talking about you. And if a few months ago you and I were able to meet at that dinner, we wouldn't be having this conversation right now. But when you told me that you had important plans after work, you forced me to deal with all your responsibilities while leaving the office. And it's because of that I was never able to go to that dinner to meet you. That dinner? That was the day that my idea ended up being accepted by our higher-ups. Yeah, that's the day that you stole my idea from me and gave it at the meeting to take credit for it. And when that meeting was over, you made me do all the paperwork for it, like writing all the new documents up over the new plan. And in the end, the only person to be recognized for my idea was you. I remember all of it, Lindsay. That was... And of course, since today is the day of your wedding, we shouldn't be having to talk about work, right? So I'm going to hurry up and go on my way, like you asked. Have yourself a great wedding today, okay?
Katrina, why did you just turn around and leave my wedding without saying anything else to me? We're about to get started with the wedding now. Did something happen to you that may have upset you?
No, at least not something that you did to me. I was just told by your bride to go home, so that's what I'm doing at the moment. She told me that she doesn't want some lonely old fart sitting in on her wedding.
What?
Actually, we only just learned about each other being here a little bit ago. That soon-to-be wife of yours is actually that newbie in the office that I've been telling you about. And you know how I feel about her as my coworker and about the stories of me having to try and train her, right? Well, that's her.
Huh? You're telling me that the girl you're always complaining about is Lindsay?
It's surprising, right? Who would have ever thought that such a coincidence as this could happen to us?
No, wait. This can't be happening, right? But listen, the coworker you're always telling me about and the Lindsay I know are two completely different people. She is the kind of woman that is nice to everyone and will do anything to help those around her. There's no way she could ever be the same selfish person you're always telling me about.
Well, I'm guessing that in front of you, she puts on a great face. But in front of me at the office, she does a great job at being selfish and lazy.
But that's... So you're saying that Lindsay really is the one that stole your idea and shared it at a meeting? And she's also the one that steals plans from you all the time and then forces you to do all her work? And not just those things, but will also leave you to do the remainder of her work when she feels she can leave the office to do her own things? Which also must mean that she's the one that left the office one day out of nowhere to go be with her boyfriend when they went on a long trip to California.
That's her. I'm sorry, but you happen to be getting married to her now.
What? Really? Hold on a sec. Now that I think about it, I haven't ever gone with her to California before.
Uh-oh.
She told me that she didn't want to go there because the sun is too strong and it would burn her beautiful skin. But you're telling me that she left the office to go there with her boyfriend? What boyfriend is she talking about?
Now that I think about it, who was that man that she showed me pictures of when she came back from that trip? This is all from the past, so I don't remember everything. But I do remember this taking place around the same time you were talking about how you both got engaged.
So you're saying that when she had accepted my proposal, she was going out with another man to California? I need to go have a word with her right now. I'm going to stop the wedding right now until I know what's going on here.
Huh? You're going to stop it now?
I'm not going to show everyone some fake love for her when I have no idea what's going on anymore. I'm really sorry. I'll get back in touch with you later.
Why would this be happening to me? The wedding was canceled yesterday. And not just canceled, but it won't ever be happening again because now Stanley said he's leaving me. Really? So this all ended with him breaking up with you? It is! He told me before he started to leave the wedding that he had had enough of me, and said that to me with all my family and friends watching. Also, why the hell does he know now about how I cheated on him before? He's told me that he's going to get a settlement from me now. Oh my. So we were right about your trip to California being with another man. Why? Why would he be able to find out about all of this on the day of my wedding? I was able to hide all of it from him right up into the wedding. I finally thought that I'd be in the clear with that, yet right when we should have been getting married, he found out about everything. I wonder why he found out. I wonder if it has anything to do with how you acted on your wedding day. Please, Katrina, can you please go find a way to get your brother to come back to me? I really do love your brother and want to become his wife. All that trip to California was me having a little fun for a change. I may have been cheating at the time, but it wasn't anything serious, and I really only love Stanley. You really think an excuse like that is going to slide with us? And another thing, I don't want to become family to you, so I'm not going to help you get him back. If anything, I'm asking you to stay away from my brother for the rest of your life. Huh? I am not going to let my cute little brother marry some used-up whore like you. You may have done a good job hiding your true personality from him, but he knows the truth about you now. So give up on Stanley, please. Stop screwing around! Your cute little coworker is in trouble right now and really needs you to help make her life better again. And you're not going to help me? You're supposed to be looking out for me as my trainer. What? You're my cute little coworker now? If you're not going to help me get back my man, then so be it. If you plan on not helping me, then I'm going to complain about you to the manager. I'll tell him that you've stopped helping me now, and they'll never let you come to another meeting again. Actually, I'm going to make sure that you're fired from your job for this. That's fine with you, though, right? You really think that you can threaten me with something like that? If anything, the odds are in my favor on all this. So you going to our higher-ups about this will only further prove the case that you're useless. What? What are you talking about? I've already spoken to the higher-ups about how you push all your work onto me when you run out of the office or just don't want to work. And you going to them about me not helping you get your fiancé back won't help your case at all back there. They'll only become even more concerned about you because you'll start bringing up things that are unrelated to work and wonder why you want me punished for them. It might even end up getting you fired then. But how does any of that make me useless? They already know that I'm amazing based off of the idea I gave at that planning meeting. Unlike some old fart like you, I can actually do my job and make progress. So you really think that they're going to call me useless and think about firing me? You may think that you came out on top for using my idea at the meeting, but unfortunately for you, everyone knows that you stole that stuff from me. And I don't mean our other coworkers, but also all the higher-ups that were at the meeting. They were going to ask you why you'd been giving out ideas I'd already planned, but at the time it was late and they didn't want to make a fuss out of it. That's why they went ahead with the idea and ended the meeting. What? Well, anyway, the company-wide meeting has taken place now, and the plan has gone into action, and on that plan is my name. I even got a comment from the district manager saying I did a great job and would be rewarded for it. What did you say? And not only was I finally recognized for my idea that you stole, but the manager brought this all up with HR to look further into. And so now everyone knows about what you've done, and there's no need for me to have proof to show. There was also a lot of notes found on your desk describing how much you hate me and what other things you could do to make me work harder. So with all of that, I think you are pretty close to being fired from your job. What notes are you talking about? Why would I ever write things like that about you? You're always writing about how much you hate me, and not just writing either, but saying things like that about me on here, by text. And that text remains on my phone and can be screenshotted to show others later on. Things like you calling me an old fart, or saying that I'm useless. We also all know about how you push all your work onto me now, and there's evidence of that all around as well. And don't forget that one instance where you spilled the coffee on my desk on purpose, ruining all my documents. Hold on now. Having to hear all of this from an old fart like me must really hurt, right? But I'm sorry, Lindsay. You saying that the way you've been treating me is okay because I'm so old is just not going to fly. That doesn't fly anywhere in the corporate world, so good luck trying to fool anyone by saying that I'm to blame. Because compared to an old employee, who isn't even that old actually, you are far worse off for never even bothering to do your work. Please, wait a second. Are you actually being serious about me being close to getting fired? Yeah, I'm being very serious. Just like my brother said, it was all worth it bringing this up to my boss earlier. What? Huh? Didn't you say that if my brother doesn't get back with you, you'd complain about me? Well, go ahead and try it, because he's not getting back with you. So it'll all be a waste for you, and you'll most definitely lose your job by doing that. Now go right ahead and try to hurt me. In the end, the talks about getting married ended up fading away between my brother and Lindsay. And along with that, Lindsay was left having to pay for the wedding to be canceled. And not just that though, but also the settlement for her cheating on Stanley also came right after my brother said he was never talking to her again. In total, she would be having to pay around $80,000 for everything she did. But before even trying to pay for anything, Lindsay ran to her parents crying for them to help her. But they ended up telling her to get out of their faces for what she'd done to their reputation. And after being told to never come around her parents again, she was also put on temporary leave from her job while HR investigated her. And that actually meant all of us here could get our work done in peace. And this is the perfect timing as well, since we are getting into the middle of putting said plan into action within the company. As for my brother, he told me he's so happy he learned about his fiancée before signing all the marriage papers. And since he thanked me for telling him all about her at his wedding, he's going to use a part of the money he received in the settlement to take me out for steak.
Thank you for watching till the end. If you felt good about this video, like the video. If you didn't like it, let me know why in the comments. Subscribe too. Your likes and subs lead to our motivation. We have so many videos on our channel as well, so go ahead and take a look. See you in the next video.
Mom, I just went and handed in yours and Dad's divorce papers for you guys. What? That means you are no longer my mom anymore. And people that aren't a part of the family anymore need to leave this house. At least that's what Dad has always told me. Huh? What are you going on about, Madison? You really think I'm going to fall for a joke like that one? You couldn't have actually handed in our divorce papers without one of us being there. The people never would have taken them from you. I'm not joking, Mom. This is very real. I really did just go into the courthouse and hand your divorce papers to the person at the desk. She was a bit surprised to see me handing in papers like that, but she took them from me anyway. So there. What? Mom, you have been really annoying lately. And I mean really, really annoying. Always making little comments about me like I'm causing you problems or something. And even this morning you were getting all upset over nothing, right? Your room is still dirty. Why haven't you cleaned out your lunchbox? Why are all your dirty clothes still in the bathroom? Yeah. I had to listen to little annoying things like that all the time from you. So, after thinking about how to get rid of you, I came up with a really good plan. And that plan was, by having you get divorced from Dad, you can no longer live in this house with us. Huh? I'm a really smart middle schooler, aren't I? I was able to copy both of your signatures onto those papers. Luckily, I had a lot of practice with that from signing you guys' signatures on all kinds of papers at school. Oh, and along with your fake signatures, I was able to find all the information I needed about you guys from all those files you left in the desk drawer. And with the kind lady at the courthouse taking those papers for me and not questioning a thing, my plan is now complete. You're lying, right? Hold on now, Madison. So you actually walked to the courthouse today and handed in your dad's and my divorce papers? Your very own parents' divorce papers? I bet you are freaking out right now. But I'd be freaking out too if I were you. Because in your situation without Dad around, you are nothing more than a jobless loser. And now that I've handed in you guys' papers, you are pretty much done for, Mom. Ha! The reason I was always making all those comments was to make sure you'd be ready for your future and can take care of yourself, all right? You are a middle schooler now, yet there are a lot of things you still don't take care of that you should be able to manage. And any time I would try and punish you, you'd just start to throw a temper tantrum like you're still 5. If you don't learn how to start being responsible for the things you do and say, you're going to have a tough time as an adult. No university is going to want to deal with you. No job is going to want to deal with you. And no man will ever want to be around you. So even if some of my comments are harsh, that's because I love you. And I want to see you succeed in the future. What are you talking about, you old doofus? And what's wrong with me not being able to do everything myself? The whole reason you're always home and don't work is to clean up after me and cook everything I want, right? I'm the reason you've been a part of this family in the first place. But since you want to complain all the time about that, you can say goodbye to this family now. Dad and I don't need you around because we both know we were only leaving the chores and cooking alone so that you'd actually have something to do. Excuse me. I bet you always complain because you want to have an easy life, right? You probably married a man like that thinking he'd be able to make the money and pay the bills, all while you sat back and used his money. However, that's not the life you get to live now. Your job isn't to sit around all day and complain, and what you've been doing to me sure isn't because you love me. You're supposed to be the housewife, yet all you do is slack off. Ha! How come you've started to think like that? This is the punishment you get for slacking off and not doing your job as a housewife. Ha! I bet you never thought the day would come when your own daughter would hand in your divorce papers and get you kicked out of the house. Now you're not only going to be jobless, but you'll have no house either. Well, that's what'll happen to your father, actually. What? Before, I was always home doing things a housewife would do, like the chores and cooking 3 meals a day for everyone. But now I've been working from home. You've been living with me this whole time and never noticed me in my office doing work on the computer? Since when have you been working an actual job? You had always done the chores here. What else are you trying to say you've been doing? Oh, right! Sometimes I'll see you on your computer, but I'm sure you're just slacking off watching YouTube or something, right? I'm working, Madison. I'm working. I use my computer here to get my job done, and I do remember from time to time me telling you that I'm starting work in the morning. What? That's you actually working then. Recently, your dad's company that he works for hasn't been doing too well. So in order to bring in a bit more money for us due to inflation and all of that, I started to work myself. Thanks to that, we have been saving up some more money. But at the beginning of this year, your dad's company ended up going bankrupt. Huh? It went bankrupt? I didn't want to worry anyone, so I made sure to keep all of that a secret, but there you go. So as of right now, this house is being held together with Mom's paychecks. And since I thankfully have a remote job, I can work as much as I need to make as much money as we need. What did you say? Yet out of nowhere, you went and got your mom and dad divorced. Right as you thought you'd be getting me kicked out of the house, you just got your dad and yourself kicked out. If you really hate me that much that you'd do something as stupid as that, then you and your dad can leave this house right now. I will not have a brainless child and her unemployed dad sitting around in my house all the time.
I just heard what's happened from Madison. I can understand her being a little crazy at times, due to being in middle school still, and handing in our divorce papers. Who did she end up getting that kind of reckless behavior from?
She really is a pain in our necks now. I tried to get her to settle down a bit by telling her about you and your current situation. And then I told her if she really doesn't want to be around me, then she can leave this house with you instead.
What? You told her that?
Of course I don't actually plan to kick you out of the house. I was just trying to scare her into shutting up was all. I hope that helped her out a little in understanding just how much of an idiot she was by handing in her own parents' divorce papers. I'll go to the courthouse later and ask that they stop processing those papers for us. Well, while I'm out doing that, would you please stick around her and make sure she doesn't do anything else?
No, hold on a second. You don't have to bother with stopping the courthouse now. It seems like the best chance for me, so I'll take her with me and leave the house.
What are you talking about, Clay? I was just saying that she'd have to leave with you in order to get her to shut up. I would never actually kick you out of the house, you know that, right?
Wait, it's not about that, actually. It's just that this is perfect timing for me, and to be honest, for a while now I've been thinking of divorcing you.
Huh?
I'm sure that this whole thing with us getting divorced is a shocker to you, but I think it's for the best that we let it happen. This timing's really helped me out. So I'll take Madison with me, and both of us will be out of your hair for good.
Wait a second. What do you mean you've been thinking of divorcing me?
Come on. Look, okay, to be real, for a while now, I've been looking for another woman. And after finding myself the perfect girl for me, she told me that I should get rid of you so that we could be together. So I've been waiting for a time like this to divorce you. Run off with her.
Another woman? Clay? Have you been cheating on me?
Like, I've been having trouble finding myself a job. And that started to get me angry. During one of those days where I was upset, I went out with a friend to grab some drinks. And well, okay, I ran into this wonderful girl, and from that night on, we've been seeing one another. The reason I'm a much happier man now is because of her supporting me.
What are you saying, Clay? I've been trying to support you this whole time as well, both mentally and physically. Yet you've gone and stabbed me in the back now, and have another woman. Is that why you stopped looking for a job and never did any of the chores at home for me? I can't believe you'd do something like that to me.
Listen to me, Mom. Look, I get that you were trying your best to support me like that, but this other woman is the reason I found myself a new job. And comparing this new job to the one I had before, I'll be making double the income. For some reason, I'm thinking this woman is a goddess of good fortune to me.
You'll be making double? What kind of company did you find that will be paying you that much? Especially after a year of not doing anything after losing your last job.
Actually, the woman I've been going out with happens to be the daughter of the CEO of a very large company. She told me that she'll talk with her parents and have them hire me on the spot and give me a job there. And of course, since I'm dating their daughter, I'll be making more than most of the other employees there. I never knew that dating the perfect woman could lead to such a wonderful life as this.
You're kidding me. You're telling me that the woman you've been cheating on me with is the daughter of a CEO.
I'll be making double what I made before, and this woman is wanting to marry me ASAP. I'm sure that even Madison will be happy to join a family like this. So now that you're aware of all that, you don't have to bother stopping the divorce. I'll let you keep the house, so you go on ahead and get used to your new life of being a lonely, divorced loser.
Isn't my dad freaking amazing? Not only was he able to find himself a young and cute-looking girlfriend while married to you, but that woman also happens to be the daughter of a freaking CEO. That pretty much means that I'll be set for the rest of my life now. Of course, I'll be going with Dad now and will become the daughter of a celebrity. Like her. Would you cut that out and come back here right now? I will not allow you to go with your dad. Huh? I don't need your permission to go with him. Would you please get your head out of the clouds and think all of this through? I don't care that she's the daughter of a CEO. She just took a married man away from his wife. And not only that, but your dad just stabbed your hard-working mother in the back. If you really want to go and live with a man and woman like those two, then you'll only be making your future even more hard on yourself. Yeah. I like to think that by staying with the divorced old hag, I'd be making my future even more difficult for myself. Excuse me? If I were to stay with you, Mom, then I'd be offering myself to live a life of a moneyless little daughter to some jobless and single idiot mother. I get that up until now you've been working and making the money to support the family, but who knows how much longer that luck will last for you. There's a chance that you get fired just like that and can no longer make any money. Or, better yet, the company you work for might go bankrupt, just like Dad's did. There is always a chance of those kinds of things happening. So instead of being with some woman who is at risk of all that, I would much rather be with my new mom who happens to be famous and have money and a company she will later get. Starting today, you will no longer be my mom, as that title is being taken by Dad's girlfriend. Madison? We don't have any use for you anymore, you lost cause of a woman. I want to start a new life being the daughter of a soon-to-be CEO. A woman like you that got tossed out by someone like Dad can go live a life of nothing but failure and loneliness. Well, if that's what you think, then when you're crying to me in the future, I'm not going to listen to a word you say. Even if your new mother tries to come and talk to me, I won't even bother talking to her. Huh? I'd never, ever come crying back to you. We'll just have to see about that then. I'm sure those talks about Dad getting remarried to that new woman will fall through really soon. Then you'll both end up with no house, and your dad with no job, and we'll have to start eating scraps out of the garbage. What? Now, Madison, you enjoy this new life you've created for yourself. It would be wonderful if this new family with your dad and that young woman were to work out in your favor. What should I do, Mom? Dad, his marriage to that younger woman went down the drain. And as for that new job he was supposed to be getting, it's not happening anymore. Everything has turned out just the way you said it would yesterday. How did you know all of this would be happening to him? Oh my. Oh my. Who would have thought that something like that would happen so fast? I was giving you guys at least a week before things began to fall apart. Mom, listen, about that woman's dad. He's the CEO of a company, right? Apparently, he doesn't want his daughter to marry Dad. He started to yell at Dad about being a total waste of a man for cheating on his wife, and then bringing me along to marry his daughter. Then he only became even more mad after hearing about how his daughter wanted him to hire a man like Dad to come work in the company. I knew that woman had no idea what she was doing by trying to get her dad to hire a man like your dad. The CEO of that company is a very important figure and is known throughout the U.S. as being one of the most hard-headed CEOs. And I don't mean that in a bad way. Rather, he is just very strict and a little old-fashioned. I'm sure he would never take on a man like your dad to go and work for him. What? What do you mean by all of that? Do you happen to know this CEO? Is he your friend or something? No. Not on a personal level or anything, but he does happen to be a customer of mine. Well, a customer of the company I work for, so indirectly a customer of mine right now. We have been working with his company for a long time now and happen to know a lot about the man. What? I didn't know that. When I found that out for myself, I was surprised. I had to look into the woman your dad cheated on me with in order to get a settlement from her. And that's when I saw that she is the daughter of a man I work with. And what really got me is the fact that she's the daughter of such a serious CEO who you would never think has a daughter that would cause such a mess. I really wonder now what led a man like him to raise a daughter like that. So you really do know about the CEO and his company then? And that's how you figured a man like him would never hire Dad? And that's how you figured out he would never be allowed to marry his girlfriend? That's why I was trying to stop you from going with him. But you didn't want anything to do with me, and had wanted to be with your dad and that woman. It would have been really nice for you had Dad figured something out and gotten married to that woman.
Hey, Kelly. Look, I'm sorry to have to ask you this, but could you please take Madison back?
What?
Right now, my girlfriend is saying she doesn't want me keeping Madison with us. She told me that if I try to hold on to her, then the marriage will never happen. She'll have to break up with me, so please, Kelly, can you please take Madison off my hands?
I'm not sure I'll be able to do that for you. The whole reason this divorce happened in the first place is because Madison doesn't want to live with me, right? So you're the only person that can take her now.
But if I have to keep her, then I'll be in trouble. I told my girlfriend that I had a daughter and all that, but she was thinking Madison was still a toddler or something. And now she's telling me she doesn't want a daughter that's already in middle school.
Wow, I wonder why she's being so selfish. Do you really like to be with women like that or something?
Of course I do. Look, she may be selfish, but she's the daughter of a CEO. Even if I can't work for that company, as long as I get married to her, my life will be set. I'll be able to say to everyone that I'm part of a CEO's family, and will have all the money I need.
So because of that, you don't mind losing your daughter. It's funny how you're a father, yet one of the worst humans on this planet.
If you're gonna say something like that, then take a look at yourself. You're supposed to be a mother, yet you let the one child you gave birth to get away from you, like you didn't love her in the first place. Normally, a mother would never want her child to leave her. So please, would you just take her off my hands for me?
I'm not taking her back, as I don't care to see her face anymore. I do not care about that brat anymore.
No way.
Now, good luck getting that girlfriend of yours to accept Madison. I'm sure if you can prove that Madison is a good girl, she'll be happy to have her as her own daughter. Hey, listen to me, Mom. I can't believe what Dad is doing and saying right now. He's told me that he doesn't want me to be a part of his family anymore, and now he's telling me to go back to you so that he can get married. Right now, Dad is really trying to get rid of me for good, Mom! That man is a real jerk, isn't he? So now he only wants it to be himself that gets to be in that woman's family. And in order to get that, he's willing to throw away his only daughter. I was able to get Dad that divorce due to all the work I went through filling out and handing in you guys' divorce papers. And I thought that by going with Dad, we could both be happy together. Dad even told me that due to all the work I put in to get him farther from you and closer to his girlfriend, I'd be able to go to any school I wanted and even travel the world. I can't believe a cheating man such as your dad would be willing to cheer you on after divorcing your own parents. Right? He's terrible, Mom. So please, Mom, can you come and get me away from him? We can work together to make Dad look bad and ruin his life. What? You want me to do something like that with you? I have to come back to you anyway, right? And by having me back, you'll be able to get child support from him then, right? So please use me as a way of getting as much money as you'd like from him. That way, he'll be forced to paying you every month, and that will destroy the plans he's had. Let's take so much from Dad that both him and his girlfriend will be hurt. I see. I'm sure that if I did get a lot of money from them every month, those two would be pretty upset. From what I found out, right now that CEO's daughter is having to live off her daddy's money. The fact that they are both jobless right now could really hurt them in the long run. Right? Right? And also, I was able to get something very good. Some evidence of those two being together while you were still married to Dad. I was able to get this from Dad's phone. Are you serious? I actually went through and copied all their messages they've sent back and forth to one another, and I have a couple pictures of those two that they took together while cheating on you. With evidence like this, you'll be able to get a massive settlement from those two, right? Having as much evidence as possible is great for getting money, right? You make a good point there, but I already know about everything that they'd been doing.
Oh, come on now, Mom. You can thank me later for this extra stuff, though, right? I'll send it all over to you right now over text.
Are you really okay sending me all that evidence you gathered?
I'm going to make both of those idiots regret ever throwing me away like that. Through both settlements and child support, we'll make sure those two have all their money taken away. So, Mom, let's you and I work together to destroy them.
I'm sorry, Madison. I'll work alone on this one, and you can work by yourself to take them down as well.
What?
I'm not going to take you back. So if you want to get child support or something, then you'll have to work towards getting that money yourself.
Why? Why won't you take me back, Mom? I've told you that Dad is throwing me away now. You're the only other person that can take me now, right?
But from the start, you were the one that threw me away, right? You told me that you hated all those comments I made and said I was too annoying for you to live with anymore. And that's why you went ahead and divorced your own parents, right? I would never want a daughter like that back.
Oh, no way, Mom. Then where am I supposed to go to now? Dad is telling me to go back to you, but you're telling me you won't take me back.
I don't care about that. Go find a foster home to live in. Or maybe try going back to Dad and seeing if you can do something in exchange for him keeping you.
What?
At least I have to say thank you for this evidence you sent me. With all of this on top of what I had, I'll have no problems taking those two to court.
Huh? Hold it right there, Mom. I sent you all of that thinking you'd take me back with you. If you're not going to take me, then give me all that back.
You're the one that sent it all to me before figuring out what would happen. Sorry that you just assumed I'd want to take you back or something.
What?
Come on now, Madison. You really think after being such a total bully to me and handing in those divorce papers for your dad and I without saying anything that I'd want you back in my life? I can't believe you'd actually think something like that. I get that you're only in middle school, but you should have learned by now simple thought processes like that. I'm sorry to say, but if you weren't able to figure out that I don't want you back before I had to tell you, you're going to have a very bad time in this world.
Why are you picking on me so much right now, Mom? I'm asking you to please take me back. You're my mom, right? I will apologize for everything I've done to you in my life, so please don't throw me away too.
I can say this as many times as you need me to. You were the one that threw me away first. You have no right to be complaining about the choices you made now. And I told you before that in the future, that being today, when you come crying back to me, I would not listen, right?
I know you said that, but...
So with that, Madison, you are in middle school now, and you need to learn to take some responsibility for your words and actions. So right after that, I went ahead and took the evidence that Madison had sent me, and was able to take both Clay and his girlfriend to court looking for a settlement from those two. But not knowing that it was his own daughter that sent me all of those screenshots and pictures, Clay went and blamed it on his girlfriend. He assumed it was her that sent me these, in order to get him, along with Madison, away from her. From then on, those two ended up fighting for weeks over whose fault all of that was, without ever finding out that Madison had done it. She was the true backstabber in all of this, and with that evidence I was able to get a massive amount of money from Clay and his girlfriend through a settlement. However, after a few weeks of fighting had gone by, they ended in Clay breaking up with his girlfriend, and then taking Madison with him to go live together in a very small and cramped apartment. But from whatever else I've heard, Madison has not forgotten about how her dad tried to throw her away in order to marry that woman. So even now, that father and daughter relationship they have is ice cold. Well, I like to think of that as them getting what they both asked for. And now you might be asking, whatever happened to me? Well, fortunately enough, I was able to keep the house after the divorce, but the place was too large for me. So weeks later, after getting the money from that settlement, I went ahead and sold that old house and moved myself closer to where the company I work for is actually located. Originally, I was working remotely, and although that had its benefits, being able to go into the office allowed me the chance to move up in the company, as well as see those I work with in person. From the sounds of it, within a few more months, I'll be due for my first promotion within the company. And the promotion will put me as the lead manager for the team that works with that woman's CEO dad.
Thank you for watching till the end. If you felt good about this video, like the video. If you didn't like it, let me know why in the comments. Subscribe too. Your likes and subs lead to our motivation. We have so many videos on our channel as well, so go ahead and take a look. See you in the next video.